Hey people, so I'm back again, and this time I want to show you how I do my lemon cake. My son's birthday is coming up this weekend, so I'm getting on to prepare something for him, and also my niece, I'd call her my niece, my friend's daughter is having her birthday as well. So I'll be making their cakes, and then I'll show you the final result. So here I'm starting with I'm going to show you the ingredients of what I used. It's just a basic lemon cake, and the flour that I have used will give me around 1.5 kg of cake. So in my defense, I was so sure this bowl was showing properly, but it seems like it wasn't. So I was just showing you the flour, the bicarbonate, and the baking powder, the amount that I use. I'll put all the what are they called, the quantities down on the description below. And then there I have margarine and sugar, and then I have zest of a lemon and juice from like 2 lemons, 2 small ones. This is 1 cup of milk, which I ended up using 1.5 cups. You'll see at the end that I added more. And then I have 5 eggs. So what I'm doing now is just creaming the margarine and the sugar together using an mixer. Using a mixer, but if you don't have a mixer, you could just use mwiko or a wooden stick, although it takes you more time and more elbow grease, but yeah, it's still doable. So I'm using the bitters here, and my goal is to just get the 2 of them really mixed in well. And by the way, you can, if you have the time, you can grind the sugar more so that it is in like lesser, the granules are smaller, to give you a better result. So that was me just scraping the sides, making sure that I've gotten everything in there, and then I'll continue to cream until it turns whitish in color and fluffy. It's normally whitish and fluffy, so that's your goal when you're doing the creaming margarine or butter with sugar. And then now I'm going to start adding my eggs one by one. I have 5 eggs there. So I beat after each addition. After 1 egg, beat. After 1 egg, beat. Like that, just to ensure that you have good consistency. Beat until all the eggs are done. I use 5 eggs here because we have milk and we have the lemon juice, so we have enough liquid. But if you want to, you can use 6 eggs. Will be okay, but I find that 5 will just do. So make sure that you scrape the sides. I think I did that at the end, just to make sure that everything is mixed in. And there are no mixed mixtures there. So the work of the beater is done. Now I'm transitioning into my wooden spoon or my mwiko, which I will now use to do the next step. So that's vanilla essence. I add about 1.5 teaspoons there. You can eyeball it. Yeah, and then now I added the lemon juice on the in the milk, and if you just notice it, immediately it will turn into buttermilk. It will turn sour, and it's okay because the mixture will just be mixed in. So there's no I mean everything is going to the cake, and that way actually I help the acidity go down kidogo a little bit. For those who don't know what I mean by kidogo, a little bit, because of the eggs that are in the mixture. When the acidity hits the eggs, it will become to cook a little bit. Yeah, so that was my daughter helping me there. She had creamed the tins that we were going to use. She had, buttered them, yeah, put margarine on the bottom and on the sides. At least there I know I have helpers. So what I'm doing now is just alternating between the milk, lemon juice mixture with the flour, and putting it in in thirds, like in 3 parts. Yeah, so 3-part unga mix, then put in the liquid mix, just like that, until you go to the end. And if you notice my technique in mixing in the flour, I'm not really doing it vigorously. I'm sort of just folding in the flour because I don't want to lose the integrity of the air bubbles that we had already formed using the fluffy margarine and the eggs. Yeah, so you also don't want to do it so vigorously because you don't want to incorporate too much air. Too much air in the cake, not a good thing. In this type of cake, allow me to say that, because when you're making sponge cake, you want a lot of air. But in this type of cake, you don't want a lot of air, because have you ever seen those the bread that you buy and it has like a big hole in the middle there? Yeah, that was because of incorporating too much air. It wasn't folded well. Yeah, and so now when you fold it in slowly and gently, you avoid adding too much air in there. So at this point, I noticed that my butter was a bit too thick. So that's why I told you I added a half a cup. So I ended up using 1.5 cups of milk. Yeah, so that was my last bit. Again, just folding it in there. And then working fast because the acidity of the lemon is already starting to react with the eggs, and you don't want that. I don't know, it sort of does something to the cake. When I've had to do this lemon cake and I've taken so much time mixing it, it comes out very different. Yeah, so this is the lemon zest. I'm just adding in there. I add the lemon zest at the very end, and just mix it in. Lemon zest actually carries most of the flavor. I prefer using the fruit when I'm making flavored cakes. I don't like using the artificial additions, even when I'm doing my orange cake or my orange sponge cake. Sponge cake, again, is made differently. Yeah. So now I had reserved some flour. I don't know if you had seen that into that basin that I was using, so that I could use it to dust my tins, which I have done there. You just make sure you coat all over the bottom and even the sides. It's very easy. Once you have buttered the tins, just as my daughter did. Yeah, and now the tins are ready to go. So now it's just a matter of placing the butter into the tins. making sure you remove everything there from the from the mixing wooden stick. And then, okay, some people measure this part out so that you have equal, you can put it on your weighing scale and then measure so that you have equal, what are they called? Now the cakes now come out equally, but when I'm rushing, I normally don't have the time. So I just eyeball. I think I've done this so many years that I've become such a such a good it's very easy for me. So, and I thank God, it's God's grace upon my life and these hands that He has given me to work and to do cakes, which I love. And sometimes, by the way, they don't come out very well. Let me not lie. I'm not perfect. I'm still perfecting, especially working with fondant. I don't know if there's anyone out there like me. Oh, I struggle a lot with fondant. So I'm tapping the tins there to remove air bubbles, just in case that they made their way in there. So when you do that, they sort of come up to the surface and you can just pop them, or they normally just pop on their own. And that's it. So the tins are ready to go into the oven. And I'm going to show you next here. I already had a cake inside. Like I said, I'm baking for 2 people. So that's a fruit cake that I'm going to combine and have like a 3-layer cake. And I'm just checking there if it's done, and that's how you check. If you touch it with your hand, please don't get burnt. It normally like springs up. Yeah, when it springs back up. If it doesn't spring back up, return it for like a few minutes. So yeah, so I'm placing the tins into the oven there, and then they're gonna be ready. And then I'll show you probably in my next video how I'm gonna ice this one and the other one. I think I'll do both of them and show you guys. So stay tuned. See you then. Bye.